Good evening, folks. It's your host, Uncle Drummer. I'm here with the famous man himself, Mr. Addy. How you doing, my brother?
I'm good, man. I'm good.
All right, people. Addy is a man, very knowledgeable, had a lot of experience in life, and we're going to share some of them experiences tonight, some of that knowledge, some of that dawah. Yeah? All right.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Addy,
Yeah.
I'm only going to discuss one subject with you tonight.
Okay.
We're going to go a little deep in depth on this subject, because
Okay.
I know you know, yeah, as a man of experience, as a man who's been around the world, you must know about this subject.
Okay. If you say so.
And the subject is woman.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah?
Okay.
All right. So, Addy,
Yeah.
woman is the subject. Let's talk about love, sex, and relationships.
Oh, wow.
What is your interpretation on love, sex, and relationship when it comes onto a female?
My interpretation. I plead the fifth. Because I'm just pleading the fifth. I think women should be loved and adored, respected, all those things that they say we should do them. Because if you don't, that's why you get chucked out of the house. Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
When you don't do what she asks you to do, you get chucked out of the house.
Mm-hmm.
You know? These days you get chucked out of your own house. These days you get chucked out of the house, put on the street, and still you get chucked off the street too. Because they'll tell you that you, for 100 meters from the house, 100 yards from the house, 200 yards from the house. In fact, but anyway, let's get back on the story of love. Love, yeah.
Sex and relationship.
Sex and relationship. Sex I don't know too much about. I grew up old school, you know. These days, you know, women want to start tying each other up, from tying you up, from beating you up. I don't really know anything about all that.
Too much 50 Shades of Grey, yeah?
50 Shades of Grey, yeah, maybe 50 Shades, you know. Black women are now reading a book that white women are showing them to do, forgetting that if they look at the instruments that they use in 50 Shades of Grey, it's the same instruments that they used to enslave them in the 50 Shades of Slavery.
Mm-hmm.
But I just want people to compare and contrast, you know, those kind of instruments that they're using on themselves. You know, slavery is over, so they're going to use them on themselves, the people that like using them. But anyway, that's just another thing altogether. But what we were talking about was...
love, sex, and relationship.
I think love's gone now. You know, there's no love in the world no more. I think there used to be back in the 70s. You know, there was still romance. You know, romance came back in the 80s. Then R. Kelly brought out 12 play, and then romance became sex. And, you know, from then on it just went downhill with romance. It became sex. You know, I think the young ones have a thing they call these days called links.
Links, yeah, for real.
We didn't have links back in the day. We had Miss Parker.
Miss Parker! Miss Parker!
We had Miss Parker. We didn't have no links. Anyway, that's a different thing altogether. So with love in a woman, I think you can have a little bit of love for a woman. Lots of love is a too dangerous thing these days, you know. A little bit of love, yeah.
Do you think that love, the word love nowadays, in 2015, do you think that's turned into lust? That love word, do you think that's not really love, it's like lust now?
I think, yeah, because...
Lust that don't last long.
Yeah, I think maybe that could happen, you know, especially the way things are going nowadays with the exposure of females and things like that. And, you know, females are being turned into objects of money, and sex is selling fast and quick. You know, I do indulge in a little bit of booty bouncing myself, booty shaking myself. I admit, you know, to see a young girl twerking it. You know, the women back in the day called it booty bouncing. But now these young girls are going twerking it because they can use one of the muscles and they kind of like twerk it. I don't know, they shake, one muscle is pointing that way and the other muscle is going so you got that movement, you know, so you can't even do that with your hands. This girl's doing it with her ass. So that could really
turn the word love into lust.
Yeah, that could turn love into lust very quickly. And I don't see what we're loving there. But I love the way the way these girls these days, they twerk their bums. You know, it's quite different from the way the women back in the day used to twerk their bums. But women back in the day were just now they're like, you know, it's all over the place. They clap it from direction. Now they've got really, you know, they've used their imagination on how to twerk that bum. So now it's men they have no control over nothing. You know, it's like a knee-jerk reaction. Men are going to cheat the hell out of their women these days because the way those women shake that bum in that direction, if they didn't want to go out before, now they're just walking out the door. So is
that why? Yeah. You reckon that's why T-Pain come and say, "I'm in love with the stripper," because they're clapping it like that in the strip clubs every night.
When T-Pain was singing that song, strippers hasn't even become as imaginative as they are now.
Yeah,
you know,
for real.
Now, if T-Pain saw a stripper now, he wouldn't be in love with her. His tongue would be, you know, T-Pain would be like, he's in pain. You know, he wouldn't be singing that song. He would sing that song so deeply. Like if he sees, then they were just clapping it straight. Now, anyway, that's a different story.
That's probably why he spent 2-point-something million in a strip club.
Imagine him. If he had a family and he felt that he had to spend his money on strippers, obviously he didn't have a good enough family. You know, you can't blame him. That's what he thought was more important in his life by that time, in that time and place. If his family was a good family, he would have spent his money on them. But because they weren't so good, they didn't let him have that love for them that he felt his money was worth spending on them. He could have all thrown that money away. He didn't care as long as he enjoyed himself. So there's always two sides to every story, I always say. You know, it's like when people say, oh, Jay-Z is Illuminati and Beyonce is Illuminati. But, okay, why are you going to give these Illuminati all the credit that black people should take for themselves? You forget when Beyonce's father was drilling her day and night. You forget when Jay-Z was selling his CDs from the back of his car. These people just didn't get there. They worked tooth and nail. They worked, they struggled. Black people struggle, and every time a black person makes it to the top, you didn't see everybody's, oh, Michael Jackson's in some kind of secret organization but Michael Jackson's father did the same thing Beyonce's father. It's the same thing Jay-Z was doing when he was selling his CDs from the back of his car. Tupac was singing, dancing for groups before he even started. You know, all these people. Why do black people always want to stain the glory of our hard work with all this Superman thing? No, these people worked very, very hard, tirelessly. They gave up everything. It's like saying Anthony Hamilton's got to deal with the devil because Anthony Hamilton's making money and he's a black man. Oh, he had to deal with the devil. No, Anthony Hamilton's father sold all his property and everything and put his all in so his son could realize his dream. Do you know how hard these black people have to work to get what they want? I was in America when Jay-Z was selling CDs out of the back of his car. I don't see any of you going out like that. These people just didn't get to where they were getting to, you know, just by, oh, one day they woke up in the morning and they were rich. That means, oh, they're Illuminati, they're making signs, and people should give black people the glory for what they do and stop playing on that shit. Anyway, I just want to touch that subject away from the love and the women and the romance, because I'm on camera right now and anything I say will be held against me in a court of law, you know, and I don't really want to talk about women too tough because I might meet one tomorrow, although I'm a married man, in case, you know, maybe if I meet the right woman I won't be married anymore. If you're seeing this video, You know, but right now I'm married, just in case any of my wife's friends see the video. I'm married. But if you feel like you really want to get at me, you can, you know, call the right people. But for all intents and purposes, I'm married. What I have to say about women, I love you women so dearly. I love women. I'm a kind of a man that I just love everything woman. You know, I love big women. I love small women. I love everything woman. As long as you're a woman, I love you. I think you should be loved and respected, and you should all be, especially black women. You get a raw deal. You know, people are frightened of you everywhere you go. Sometimes you're frightened of yourself. I love you still. You know, I was frightened of my mother for a long time. That brought me through life, so, you know. Yeah, so what else do you want to know, Mr.
Right. We've talked about the love part. Let's talk about the sex part now.
Oh, Lord.
What's the difference between sex when you was a kid until sex up until now?
Oh, Viagra.
What's
Viagra, that's the difference.
What's the change? What's the change? Because obviously it's gone up to a different level now.
Viagra is different. What levels? Levels gone down.
You think it's gone down?
Of course levels gone down. I ain't like I was 19 no more.
So what's the difference? How come it, tell me how it's gone up and down.
Well, you know, before you could do 7 rounds at your max. Now you can only do 3. Then after a while you can only do 1. And after a while you can only do 10 minutes. Then after a while, get away from me! After a while, it's like, God, I'm not going home no more. She might want some sex tonight. No, it's not like that. Yeah.
You say you think the rounds have gone down for the man?
Well, it does. You know, you depreciate every year. But now they go Viagra. Viagra Gold. It's solid for a week. You hit your wife and say, honey, you been training? Yes. Training. They got a drug for everything these days.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the relationship side.
Alright, let's go. Relationship side.
You think relationships working or you think they're not working?
I haven't done a census on it, you know, so I couldn't really give you a direct answer to that. I think my relationship's kind of like working.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he says go and I go.
Mm-hmm.
Sit and I sit.
Mm-hmm.
A relationship. You know, when I get out there, like Bingo the dog. Off leash me. Just take me off the leash. Away from her now. And then when you're there, you have to pretend like you love the whole situation. But you do.
But you have to pretend like you like being collared.
No, yeah, sometimes you got to even show your woman that you're the relationships. You have to, men have to, they have to be sensitive to the woman's issue. My relationship became better with my woman when I had my daughter, because I realized that when a woman wakes up in the morning, she's just angry anyway. Because when my daughter wakes up in the morning, she's just angry. She don't even know why she's angry.
Estrogen.
I don't know what the estrogen is. She's 7 years old. What's estrogen? What's that called? Where's that from? She's 7 years old. She wakes up, she's angry. I ask her, why are you angry? She says she doesn't know why she's angry. I said, so why are you angry then? She said, I don't know why I'm angry. I'm just angry. And then I realized that every morning that my wife wakes up and she's angry, why am I asking? So now I don't ask my wife why she's angry anymore. Because if my daughter can wake up as a young girl at the age of 7 and be angry, doesn't know why she's angry, look at the old woman. She wakes up, she's angry, and she doesn't even know why she's angry. That morning, she's just angry. So I'm understanding women right now, and I'm understanding relationships. When they're angry, they're angry. Don't try and, calm them down. Let them be angry. I like making them more angrier. So they can spontaneous combust. Combust. Like when they get all the anger out of their system, Like when my wife's angry, I kind of go to, but you look very stupid today, don't you? Like, who you calling stupid? I'm calling you stupid, bitch. You know, so she gets really angry and then she tries to, and I walk out of the house and just leave her in the house. The relationship's working though. I'm only joking, man. My relationships, it should actually be funny tonight, so I'm trying to be funny, but that's not funny. You know, slapping your wife when she's angry is not funny. But it helps, it's part of the therapy. You know, she's angry. Like when my daughter wakes in the morning, she's angry. She says, what she want to eat? I say, what do you want to eat? She say, I don't know. I said, well, I don't know. So you're going to go to school hungry as well as angry. So you keep being angry every morning and see where you be like a skinny angry girl like that. You have no bones on your body, but you be angry. So from now on, you be smiling. Every time you see me anymore, you be smiling. Eat your food. Nah, that's how I deal with my daughter. That's how I deal with my wife too.
Gotcha.
Militant like that.
Okay.
For you ladies out there, it's not true. I'm only joking. You know, we're just trying to make light jokes of this thing. You know, he's interviewing me, we're at work, I'm on TV. Yeah. Just letting all you guys know that, just in case you're try to label me. We're just joking, we're at work. Okay. Go on with your questions, John.
Okay, man. Okay, Eddie. Last thing I'm gonna ask.
Stop calling my name, man. I don't
Sorry,
want
man.
to know me like that.
Mr. A. Mr. A.
Call me T. Call me T, man. Call me T.
Alright, T.
I was talking to this young brother the other day. And I've known this brother since he was a kid. And this brother says to me, I called the guy, I said, hey, what's up, man? I called his name. He said, shh, uncle, don't call me that name. I goes, why? Because that's not my name on the road, man. I goes, what's your name on the road now? He said, my name on the road now is T. And we're all quiet. I said, why I gotta call you T? And be so quiet. He said, because the police are looking for me, uncle. I said, but you just left secondary school yesterday. The police are looking for you. What happened now? How do I hold for you? So, shh, uncle, I told you, call me T. Call me T. I said, boy, you know when you just want to slap somebody and tell him that, listen, your mama call you T. Your mama call you who? What's your mama call you? Your mama call you what? And you call yourself T? I'm going to call you what your mama's calling you. Your mother call you T. She didn't call you T. She never named you T. She named you what? So don't come here, Uncle, shh, Uncle, they could stab me around here. What you do around here? Who you rob? Who do you rob around here, you fool? And I'm talking to you. In fact, go home. Uncle, shh. That's all I'm getting on the street right now, you know, and I'm loving these kids, really. I'm really loving our black kids these days, but, you know, and then you get black boys hanging around with themselves. Back in the day, we never used to hang around with ourselves. In fact, I didn't want to see a man near me. All I wanted to see in my room was ladies everywhere. I'm just telling you how I felt. All of my I don't know, these kids these days at the age of 18, 19, they want to be hanging around with each other like in a gang. I didn't want no gang around me. I just wanted me and ladies. I felt like Hugh Hefner. You know, I wanted to grow up in the Hugh Hefner era. I wanted as many ladies around me as possible. I didn't want to see no testosterone in the room when I was in the room. I don't know if that's how you guys grew up, but that's how I grew up. You know, I was hanging around with my friends. Every time, you know, the most exciting time in my life was when I'm in the house on my own, in my parents' house, and you've done up the house is tidy and everything, and your girl's coming around. You know what I'm saying?